What's up, Bulldogs? All right, I just completed one of the hardest workouts of my life. It was 12 intervals at threshold that basically by the fourth one, I felt like I was dead, like I couldn't go on. And just yesterday, as I was going to the gym and just getting up after returning from my trip, I was pretty much ready to give up. I mean, I wasn't gonna give up, but I wanted to. You know, I kind of got to this point where I was like, just feeling like, oh, why am I doing this? Do I really wanna like keep doing these workouts, these grueling workouts? Do I want to, run this 50-mile race next year? Do I even want to sell? Do I want to get on calls and try to sell my program? It was just a lot of doubt about it, and just feeling tired, completely unmotivated, hopeless, depressed. Just did not want to do anything. Just wanted to be done with it, stay home. I just dreaded, because I knew that when I went to the gym, my workout was going to be fucking tough. It was going to be like an hour and a half of grueling workout. I was going to get back home from the workout, get to my desk, and have to do a bunch of calls, and I was dead tired. I was just so tired, I needed to sleep. And you know what I did is I just kind of pushed through it. And I told myself this, is that it's like, and this is, I think, the important thing. And again, I'm making this video for me, by the way, so I remember this in the future. Is that sometimes, you got to realize that what you're feeling in any day, in any moment, is temporary and it's going to change. And you cannot make your decisions in life based off what you feel at one point in time or one day. Because if you make decisions based off of that, and you think that that is your actual state, you think that is the actual truth about the matter, then you're gonna make big mistakes, and you're never gonna push through the pain that you need to push through in order to get to the good days, And so, I'll contrast that with today, Am I feeling the greatest today? No, but I'm feeling a lot better. Like, when I woke up this morning, I felt like, okay, I'm ready to get to work. I'm ready to do this workout. I was kind of dreading the workout, but I'm excited, and I'm excited to get on calls. I got 6-7 calls today. I'm gonna make some sales. It feels good, right? Even last night, by the time that the evening came around, I was feeling a lot better. I was feeling a lot more hopeful and motivated. And right now I'm ready to go make those calls. Go make those sales, get on those sales calls. And so it's like, what I could have done yesterday though is I could have said, yeah, I don't know, let me reconsider life. Do I really want to do these workouts? I could have called my coach and I could have said, yeah, I've been thinking about it. I don't really want to do this anymore. This is just too much, I don't really need to do this 50-mile race. I don't need to prove anything, And I could have changed the direction on the sales calls and said, maybe I should figure out a different business and not do this, or hire someone to do sales, and not push through that. And if I would have had that mindset, it doesn't mean that I would have quit yesterday, but I would have been on the path to quitting. But instead, what I did was I grabbed a hold of myself and I said, John, hey, you've been here before, dude, and you're going to be here again. And today's a day. Who knows why you're feeling this way? It could be because a lack of sleep. I was very, very tired. I just came back from a Vegas trip with my wife, where for her birthday we went to this When We Were Young concert, and it was a lot. It was pretty exhausting, and I did some hard workouts while I was in Vegas. Didn't get quite enough sleep, and I was feeling a little bit sick, and so that could have been why that I felt that way. It could just be just a hormonal cycle of some sort. It's like you're gonna go through these valleys and these troughs and these peaks in life, because that's the nature of life. It's seasonal, right? And so it's like, you just got to recognize that. And that's what I had to do yesterday, was just say, hey, okay, there's something going on here, but this is not a pattern yet, right? Now, if a whole week goes by and every single day of the week I'm dragging ass and feeling like I don't want to do this anymore and I'm not enjoying life, okay, that's a more powerful signal. It still doesn't mean that the next week won't be better. But if this is going on for weeks at a time, that's when you've got a pretty strong signal. That means that something's going on. You need to change. That's where depression comes in. But here's the thing about this that you have to realize as well, is that you can create that cycle yourself if you allow yourself to get into that funk. You know what I mean? And so it just depends on how you handle the day. And so if I tell myself when I have a day like that, oh, this is just a day, right? Like it doesn't define you. It's not your actual outlook on life. It's not actually what you know, how you feel. It's just how you're feeling now. If I tell myself that, then I don't set myself up for that cycle of it repeating the next day. But again, yesterday, if I would have not gone to the gym, for instance, or not pushed myself very hard, or like, you know, not jumped on the sales calls, said I needed a day of rest or whatever it was, then I would have started momentum in the opposite direction. Because remember, you know, I've talked about this a lot, is that momentum equals motivation. And if you want to get motivated, the easiest way to get motivated is to do the thing that you don't want to do and do it well, you know, and just push yourself through it. And if you can keep that streak up for 3 days, you will have enough momentum that in most cases you will get the motivation back. And if you don't get the motivation back after that, then it might be time for a change, right? But usually it doesn't even take that long, right? Literally, once I started hauling some ass yesterday and I got into the groove of things and I organized myself and, you know, and I changed my mindset, I got myself into a state where I was already feeling good last night. And then this morning, when I got up, I was ready to go. And then, you know, this morning when I did the workout, this is the other piece of this. This workout was fucking hard, okay? It was really fucking hard. I mean, one of the hardest workouts I've ever done in my life, right? And I've done some hard workouts, okay? It wasn't super long, it was 5 miles, but it was 12 intervals of threshold running for like 2 minutes and 1 minute break. It was brutal, okay? At least where I'm at with my knee and everything, it was brutal. And so one of the things that I did was I pushed through this entire workout. I mean, when I rated this workout on the difficulty scale, I rated it 10 out of 10, okay? Because I put in the maximum amount of effort. Like I could not have done another interval. I could not have run faster. You know, that was literally the best that I could do, okay? So I gave it my all, as I've talked about. And so how do I feel after doing that? I feel good enough to do this video. I feel great. Why? Because when you put in your maximum sustained effort, right? When you actually go the extra mile, when you actually, you know, challenge yourself and push yourself, that gives you that motivation, because once you have gotten that accomplishment, you know, you've got a victory for the day, right? And so when you show up, you know, and this is something, again, another thing I don't think I told you from Tony Robbins, right, from the UPW that I went to, is, you know, I committed to like putting my best into everything that I do, right? Life is short. I've been meditating on this a little bit, is that, you know, someday I'll be gone, and who knows what happens after that, right? I believe there's more, but there's probably not more. There's definitely not more of this life of me, of John Sonmez, of Bulldog Mindset. That ends when this life ends, right? Okay, and so I have to make the most of this, right? I'm 45 years old now, okay? A lot of my life is gone behind me, right? That's true. Right? It's hard to think about those things, but you do have to acknowledge those things. And so it's like, but that doesn't mean there's not a lot of time left. But the time that I have left is limited, and it's counting down, and I don't know how long that is. And so if I'm not going to make the most of the things that I do, then it's a waste, and it cannot be recovered. And so one of the things I committed to at the Tony Robbins was that I was going to put my best into everything that I did. No more half-assing things. No more doing a shit job and just getting through things. No more just dragging ass on things. Like, just go for it 100%, because I want to live up to my maximum, my potential in life. And I haven't even gotten close to that yet, you know? So I'm not going to complain about the wasted time, because we all know that we've wasted time, but there's no need to continue to waste it, right? Everything that I've done has brought me here to this point, and I have to use what I've learned. And so anyway, I just thought I would share that with you, because I think it's important to realize that you're going to have shit days. You're going to have days where you feel like this isn't worth it, like you want to give up, you know, that you don't have that motivation. And on those days, you have to recognize that it's just a day. It's just how you feel right now. It doesn't define you. And you can change that mindset. You can change that state by just going forward and getting it done. And the other thing that got me through it is I just kept on thinking to myself yesterday, I was like, okay, I just have to do what I need to do for today, right? And like, sometimes it's like I got caught up thinking about the future. That's where I got hopeless and had that sense of dread, was because I was thinking so far in the future. It's like, oh, I got to run this 50-mile race. I'm going to have to keep on doing these workouts every day. Every day I'm going to have to get on all these calls, and I'm going to be tired, and, you know, and I just kept thinking that way instead of thinking about, okay, it's just one day. Like, literally, what's the next thing I have to do? Okay, I got to go do this run. Okay, what's the next thing I have to do? All right, I got to go drive home. Okay, what's the next thing after that? All right, I gotta get to my desk and, you know, get the first thing done, get the first call done. So it's really, literally just one step, one thing at a time. You can always get that done. You can always get through what you need to for that day. And if you look at each day as a challenge, as something that, okay, what's the exciting things that are on the docket for today, it changes the perspective. But if you look at it so far in the future of all the stuff you have to do, you get overwhelmed and you're gonna feel hopeless and defeated. So just take it one day at a time, because how you live one day is how you live it every day anyway.